My name is Jacob Guarilia. I attend the University of Florida, and while here at the firm, I focused on business litigation.
My name is Taylor Hanley. I go to the University of Georgia School of Law, and this summer I focused on all sorts of areas of law. I did a little bit of business litigation, a little bit of employment law, and a little bit of corporate transactional work as well.
My name is Andrew Snell. I'm currently a student at Georgetown University Law Center, and I'm primarily focusing on business litigation.
I knew that Jimerson Birr had a play hard, work hard culture, and that I would get honest feedback, that I would have the opportunity to learn, and that Jimerson Birr attempts to create a realistic experience on what it's like to be a first-year associate here at the firm.
I expected the ability to work in many different practice areas and in many different types of law, to be able to draft a lot of documents that would either be submitted to the court or sent to the client and help move cases along. I did get to draft a lot of substantive documents, both filing for the courts and different memos and letters sent to clients.
I primarily hoped that I would be getting to contribute meaningfully to projects and get to work on things that I could tell had a real impact. I've gotten to really contribute to lots of meaningful projects and get to see my work directly move the litigation process along.
I found it very valuable that I had the opportunity here at the firm to write motions, to discovery pleadings, motions to suppress, motions for writ of bodily attachment.
The ability to efficiently review a case file, to be able to understand the issues and then apply those details to whatever document I'm drafting and be able to produce something that will help move the case forward.
I definitely got to sharpen my legal writing skills, which I think is the most important skill for any attorney, especially through the filing of motions and doing research and getting to get direct feedback on that from other attorneys.
We had the opportunity to work on creating subcopies for the Jimerson Birr website, and that created a wonderful opportunity to work with each other, to collaborate with one another, get to know one another, and to figure out the systems of the firm, get familiar with the website and the practice areas that Jimerson Birr focuses on.
One collaboration that sticks out in particular is a project that I did with the two other summer associates. We were tasked with doing a 50-state survey for different contract provisions and their applicability in each state. And it was just very memorable because we had a relatively short turnaround deadline, and we were able to divide the task up and share different resources we found to make the process go smoother.
The other two summers and I were able to work on a single research project together, and I think what I learned from that is how helpful it is to have other people working on the same things, who are on the same issues as you, so that you can kind of bounce ideas off of each other and make sure that you're streamlining your processes throughout the project.
Challenge this summer in the summer associate program would be learning how to bill your hours. So getting that opportunity in now will help lessen the learning curve after graduation.
I'd say one of the biggest challenges was balancing multiple deadlines from different attorneys, and I just did that by creating a workflow that would really make sure that everything that I needed to do was done in the right amount of time, and I would say that helped me for the future because I can apply that to both my schoolwork and different obligations I have at school, and then also once I become an associate to continue to use that practice as well.
The main challenge that I face is getting lost in the weeds on an issue as opposed to focusing on the big picture. What I found to be the most helpful was getting to walk into someone else's office and kind of explain what was going on, and then that way I'm able to really clarify my thinking and maybe get some feedback from them on how to move forward.
So the associates and partners here at Jimerson Birr are focused on your growth and development. They know that they are likely going to be working with you in the future. It's in everyone's best interest that you progress as an attorney. So one example that comes to mind, Brandon Meadows, one of the partners here at the firm, and he heads the summer associate program at Jimerson Birr. I had an assignment where I drafted a request for production for him, and he went through, made revisions, made red lines to the draft that I had provided to him, and he came back into my office and we went through the revision. And I still have that draft in my drawer. When I need to draft that particular motion for other attorneys, I pull that draft out and I go through the revisions that Brandon had given me to make sure I can incorporate that into the new work.
Mentorship here is very good. People are very willing to always answer any questions that you have. You know, the open door policy is very evident, and I always felt comfortable walking into a person's office to ask any clarifying questions or just questions in general. One example in particular that really sticks out, I had done an assignment for Stuart, and he took about an hour of his time to really go over the work that I had sent him, go line by line, tell me what he liked and didn't like, and that really helped me better understand exactly what he had been looking for and allow me to apply it to future assignments for him.
Overall, the level of support was great. I think especially Zach, a few times I was able to just send in some writing that I was doing, even things that he wasn't working on, and he would provide me feedback.
Jimerson Birr puts an emphasis on being transparent in the business side of law. You get to discuss with the attorneys why decisions are being made, why strategic decisions are being made, and it's less academic as it is in law school. There are practical consequences for pursuing certain avenues, especially in regards to litigation, and you get to learn from the attorneys what their thought process is as they go through that.
It differs from the classroom because it is much more hands-on and not so much reading about how things are done, and you really get to do it yourself. We understand real-world application because beforehand I really only had the crazy hypotheticals that professors draft on their final exams, and seeing real-world problems of these different types of issues in action helped me understand exactly where they might arise and different ways that you can make sure that they are resolved relatively.
It was completely different. When you're in a classroom, the stakes are not very high and things really build upon each other month to month, whereas in a litigation environment, things are very one-off and you have to drop into a new project and figure out how to get your bearings in a few hours as opposed to a few months. So it really emphasizes the importance of having those skills of learning things quickly and making sure that your work product and processes are organized in an efficient way so that you can really pick up running.
Do the best work that we can for our clients in order to bring real value to them and to solve their legal problems. Outside of that, the associates and the partners make an effort to get to know you. Throughout the summer associate program, we have a lunch with a partner associate at least once every week as a way that they get to know you.
One of the things that stood out to me the most was getting to go to lunch with the different attorneys every week and getting to not only speak to them one-on-one about their professional career, but also getting to know them on a more personal level just helped make everybody a little bit more human and not just a lawyer, but also a person.
I think it's a very tight-knit group of attorneys who really care about each other and they see each other as more than just co-workers. Everybody really took the time to get to know me and ask about my life, and I just think that makes the whole process more fun.
So for one of our partners, Joby, James Birr, he had a client who came to him with a difficult matter, and Joby assigned it to me to come up with the causes of action that we would be bringing in a lawsuit. And then I ultimately drafted the complaint for that ended up being filed in that lawsuit. It's part of that hands-on experience that Jimerson Birr tries to provide throughout the summer. And I had an opportunity to really take a lawsuit from its beginning stages to commencement.
One project in particular that stands out is a fraudulent transfer case that I've been working on with Brandon, and it really stands out to me because he brought me in on the project when I think it was my first week here and started me with a relatively small task that has since turned into me being able to do many different tasks for him throughout the summer and has really allowed me to be involved, to see the progression of the case, to see how things that I have drafted have been filed with the court and received by the opposing counsel.
I did some research for Austin Hamilton regarding sanctioning somebody for not complying with the discovery process, and I was able to see my research get essentially turned right around and used directly in a motion, and that was a really great experience, very gratifying and awesome to see.
Make sure to develop good work habits that don't leave you idle throughout the day. If you do an assignment for an attorney, look into if there are follow-up tasks that need to be performed in relation to that assignment or to that lawsuit. It can be good to follow up with the attorney to see if you can assist with any other tasks. And ultimately, it's very rewarding to go to get involved in a lawsuit where you're working on multiple projects and you are one of the people in the firm that's attached to that client and to that matter. And when something pops up, that associate or that partner comes to you because they know that you're knowledgeable about what's happening.
I would say definitely don't be afraid to ask people for any questions that you might have, ask advice of them. Take advantage of the Brad Weeks that you have to not only get to know attorneys on a personal level, but also to see what cases they're working on, to see if you might be able to get any work from them, and overall not to be hesitant to ask people for work, because I think the initiative shows that you're interested in contributing.
Make sure to make as many good relationships as you can early on, especially with the other summer associates, as well as any attorneys, especially the young associates. They're really going to be in your corner, helping you out, helping you figure problems out, and that's the most helpful asset you can have.
Jimerson Birr tries to create a realistic expectation of what it's like to be a summer associate after graduation. Many of my peers are at different firms and they are primarily doing doc review throughout their day or they're writing legal memos. And that has a place here at Jimerson Birr for the summer associates, but there is a heavy emphasis on substantive legal work. You are not given busy work for the sake of busy work. Everything you do will be done in pursuit of a goal on behalf of the client.
It differs from other programs because it really immerses you in what a day is like working as an attorney here, and I think you really understand how you work with partners, how you work with other attorneys, and just generally what would be expected of you.
It's a very hands-on program and you will gain experience much quicker here than you will anywhere else. So I recommend it for anybody who's really looking to sharpen their skills and become a great attorney.